Hi, I'm Mason Peugeot.
And I'm Aditi Pandey. You're watching WCAT's Weekly News.
Janterm has recently come to a close, and we hope that everyone enjoyed their time and learned a little along the way.
As you may know, many Janterm courses travel to exciting places to learn more about their subjects. Reporter Christiana Dole has more information about these trips.
Thanks, Aditi. I'm Christiana Dole for WCAT. As Janterm winds down, many classes have taken trips to further extend their learning experience. 3 of the traveling Janterms include the Physics of Flight, Chattahoochee River, and Coastal Ecology courses, which were open to freshmen and sophomores. Let's hear from some of the participants. Here with Cole Bergman, and I wanted to know a little bit about your Janterm. So where did you travel to and what did you learn?
Well, our first trip we traveled to Helen, Georgia. The next day we went to Beaufort Dam, learned a little bit more about the Chattahoochee River, and we realized how big of an impact this river plays on our lives.
So what was the highlight of your trip?
Well, on our second trip, we went down to Columbus, Georgia, and we went ziplining. That was probably my favorite part.
I'm here with Ivory Grimes, who participated in the Physics of Flight Janterm. So, where did you travel?
We went to Washington, D.C. in a private airport.
Nice. So what was the highlight of your trip?
Probably flying the planes at the airport.
So what did you learn about flight through these trips?
We learned about how to fly a plane and the mechanics of flying a plane.
Lastly, we spoke to Dr. Wilson and Dr. Slack, advisors of the Coastal Ecology Janterm. During the week of January 9th, they traveled to Savannah, Georgia for a week-long trip. The highlight of their trip was visiting a private island and learning more about Georgia's coastal biodiversity and the importance of ocean conservation. Although not every Janterm had the opportunity to travel overnight, everyone had fun, and that's the most important part. I'm Christiana Dole for WCAT. Back to you in the studio.
Additionally, many Janterms created service projects. This past Thursday, the Children's Human Rights Around the World Janterm hosted their clothing drive for the children at Stone Mill Elementary.
Let's go to reporter Evie Rearden for the latest on this event.
Thanks, Aditi. I'm Evie Rearden, and I had the chance to sit down with Miss Kelly and Miss Lou, the faculty leading the Global Children's Rights Janterm. We got to talk about the children and what their plans are for the future. I'm here with Miss Kelly and Miss Lou, the faculty teaching the Global Children's Rights Janterm. So I understand that you're having a fundraiser for Stone Mill Elementary School. Why did you choose Stone Mill?
We came to know about Stone Mill Elementary School through Martha Miller, who actually has a connection with the teacher who works with those students. English as a second language is what it is. And she teaches a group of she has 20 kids and another teacher has about another 20 kids. And we basically came to know of it through Martha Miller, who used to be here in the Spanish department. Just a connection that we had with her.
How does doing the fundraiser for Stone Mill Elementary and teaching the Global Children's Rights Janterm impact your life now?
They realize that and how the life that we have here is really a luxury for those kids. They just feel grateful and they wanted to do something for the children in Stone Mill.
That's really amazing. So after doing the fundraiser and going to Stone Mill, seeing all the children, and teaching this Janterm about global children's rights, do you think you'll continue with this work in the future?
Yeah, this is a close topic to my heart for me. And I think that this is something that it's a journey. So it's not something that you start today and tomorrow. It's something there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be children in need. I think that our job is to do what we can on our end because we are blessed to have as much as we do have. And sometimes stepping outside of that bubble allows us to realize that there's right around here in our own city, there's people in need. And sometimes it doesn't take very much to do a little bit for them. It's just that effort.
Thank you so much. I'm Evie Rearden. Now back to the studio.
Wow, thanks Evie. With all the performing arts practices occurring around campus, there have been conversations about the lack of space for fine arts. Reporter Walker Gleason discusses the situation with band and orchestra director Dr. Stewart.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Walker Gleason here with Dr. Scott Stewart, talking today about unequipped areas for arts students. What's your view on the matter?
Westminster is going through an interesting growth period right now, and I think most of us on the faculty and the staff and the student body and the parents and the alumni agree that the buildings that comprise the upper school were largely built in the 1950s and 1960s, and they're no longer really appropriate in many ways for the kinds of teaching and learning that we do today. So currently, we are working on the McCain Chapel stage, which was built in the mid-1950s, not as a concert space, not as a rehearsal space, and we have no storage. We have very few breakout rooms, and we are basically not maximizing the potential that we have in the amazing talent of the student body and the faculty to really have an amazing performing arts group. We have met with the campus planning team, and so the school as a whole school has a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan of what the campus is going to look like physically, as we go through the next, 50 years or so. I feel that, the Board of Trustees, Mr. Evans, I think everybody's on the same page that clearly we are underwhelmed in our performing arts facilities offerings.
I'm Walker Gleason for WCAT. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Walker. Finally, anticipation is high for the upcoming baseball season. Sports reporter Parks Harbor speaks with players and coaches on the upcoming season.
Hello, this is Parks Harbor with WCAT. Now, the upcoming baseball season is upon us, and Mason Posey and I interviewed a few coaches and players to see what their thoughts were on the upcoming season.
Well, we lost a lot of talent, a lot of seniors, especially for baseball last year, so we're looking to have a lot of freshmen and sophomores step up to come together as a team and help us go for another state championship, hopefully.
You're right. We do have a lot of rebuilding to do, but I think I'm really excited as a coach because sometimes getting younger talent and seeing how much it grows is more rewarding.
I think the immediate goal, as always, is to defend our title, be back-to-back state champs.
I just want to have a team that the school's proud of and, be the best coach I can be for the boys, and hopefully, we'll have a very successful season.
Best of luck to the 2017 Batcats this year. Now back to the studio.
There is even more to look forward to this baseball season as the Cats look to keep the train rolling. We have a huge night in store for all you sports fans tonight. Varsity boys and girls basketball meet pace in Turner Gym, and we will need a huge turnout. Tonight is also the varsity swimming and diving team's senior night.
Additionally, the wrestling teams take on North Atlanta on Wednesday. And that's all for this week. I'm Aditi Pandey.
And I'm Mason Poje. And as always, go Cats.